Canada, specifically Inuit from the Inuvialuit tribe, all the way up in Tuktoyaktuk. I am pleased and honored to be virtually here with you today. I hope everybody is staying happy and healthy and safe in these crazy times. I will be speaking with you a bit about clean energy and its importance, but first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and where I started. So, where to begin? I am an actress, a performer, and an entrepreneur. I own Red Path Talent, which is an Indigenous entertainment company. We host youth empowerment programs across Canada and perform across the world. I decided to name Red Path Talent after the Indigenous phrase, walking the red road. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that phrase before, but it is known as walking a path dedicated to sobriety, health, and wellness. I myself have been sober for about 7 years, and I totally believe in the power of sobriety. I believe in the power of sobriety for so many different reasons, but I don't think you necessarily have to do it to step into the best version of yourself or to achieve your goals. It was just the thing that I knew that was holding me down, so I got rid of it early on in my life. And I think that there's a lot of power in identifying whatever your vice is, whether that's too much social media, or gambling, or even unhealthy relationships. I think that, or just simply eating unhealthy. I think that there's so much power in identifying what your vice is and doing everything you can to get a hold of that. Because once we get a hold of our vices, they no longer have a hold of us, and we're able to step into the best versions of ourselves when we're able to get past those things that are holding us down. For me, I was putting all my time, my energy, and my money into partying and whatever my friends were doing at the time, and I knew it was holding me down. So when I got rid of it, it allowed me to put that time, that energy, and that money towards something that was actually fueling my life. And I think that the more we're able to put that energy that has been sucked from us and from our power, whether that's through a vice or through an addiction, once we're able to regain that power and put that power and that energy towards something that we love and something that we care about, or those people that we care about, there's so much power in that. And once we get rid of something that is holding us down in life, it makes room for something so much better to fill its place. So to go back a few steps, and first of all, to introduce my little guy, he just jumped up on the bed. This is Kavik. He is half Pomeranian, half Husky, and his name means Wolverine in Inuvialuit. And he's been a great little guy. He's 1.5 years. And anyways, to go back to where it all began, I was born in Yellowknife, moved down here to Canmore, Alberta when I was 5 years old with my family, of course. And I was a competitive cross-country ski racer for about 15 years of my life. I had a super promising career doing that. My brother actually went to the past 2 Winter Olympics, and he is super inspiring. You can look him up, Jesse Cockney, and he has been a big inspiration to me throughout my life. And yeah, so I ski raced until I was about 18 years old. I was winning medals here and there, and honestly, I had a super promising career, but it wasn't where my heart was, and I just wanted to be dancing the whole time. But I wasn't being honest with myself, and I wasn't being honest with anybody around me. I wasn't happy at the time, so I got caught up in the party scene, like I was just saying, and I started going out, and I got caught up in the wrong crowd. And I think I had all this creative energy, and I wanted to be creating, but I didn't know, I didn't have an outlet yet for that. And, I always knew that it was holding me back from something, but I didn't know what exactly. So before I turned 21, that's when I decided to get sober. And I decided I was going to do 1 year of sobriety and see what happened and what I could do in a year of sobriety. It ended up turning into 7 years so far now. But I ended up going to Costa Rica to get my yoga teacher certification within that year. And I ended up seeing hoop dancing for the first time, and I was forever changed. It was like a magnet. It was so obvious that I had to take that path, and I've been hoop dancing ever since, and hoop dancing has taken me across the world. And this is what I mean when we get rid of something that is holding us down. It makes room for something so much better to fill its place. And I truly and honestly believe in that. And at the time when I decided to get sober, I didn't know what it was holding me back from. I didn't even know what hoop dancing was. I just had this feeling deep inside that I knew it was holding me back. And I wasn't sure what from, and I never would have imagined that I would be doing what I'm doing now as a full-time job. And I just knew it was holding me back from being the best version of myself. And I think that you never know what hidden little gems we have inside of our hearts, inside of our beings, until we strip back those layers and find that clarity. I think that the more we're able to get closer to ourselves, the more these hidden little gems arise and come to surface. And you never know what those hidden little gems are. They could be new talents. They could be the career that you've always wanted. They could be, who knows? And I think, like I was just saying, and I truly believe in, one, identifying your goals and where you want to go, but also figuring out what it is that's holding you back. I think that's just as important as identifying where you want to go, because how are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't figure out what's holding you back? Because if you don't figure out what's holding you back, you're not able to let that stuff go and really move forward. I think that living with integrity is a really big aspect of that. And I have really been diving into what integrity means, and what that looks like, what it looks like to live authentically and with integrity. And I think that somebody who lives with integrity knows the right thing, does the right thing, and says the right thing. I think they stand up for what they believe in. I think they speak their truth, and I think that they're honest with themselves as well. And sometimes that can be one of the hardest things on this journey is being honest with yourself. But when you're honest with yourself, then that's really the beginning of it all. Having the courage to admit to yourself that maybe you have an addiction or you need to make a change. That is the beginning, and that is the beginning to the best version of yourself. And when it comes to fear, this is one last thing I want to talk about. I believe that all fear is rooted in love. And this is something that I have realized just through meditation, because I struggled a lot with fear just in general throughout my life. And I was taught with my therapist, because I definitely am a very hardcore believer in speaking to a therapist and the importance of mental health and taking your mental health seriously. But she taught me to really understand the root of my fears. And what I realized through that work is I believe that all fear is rooted in love. Because if we didn't love so deeply, we wouldn't care so much. And it's because we care so much about that which we love, which is why we fear. So anytime you experience fear of any sort, I just encourage you to experience it in a different way, where it's I'm experiencing a form of love, and in a way you can listen to that. And I think that all of our fears have something to teach us, and I think that a lot of our fears come up because we're not learning and we're not accepting whatever that fear is trying to teach us. And I think that the sooner we are able to accept that fear and whatever it is trying to teach us, the less power it ends up having over us. And basically, I think that it just comes from the saying of like looking your fear in the eyes. And I think that there's a lot of power in that, and just having the courage to look your fears in the eyes and to understand it and understand the root of it. And I think that when you understand the root of it, you'll realize it's rooted in love. It's because you love so deeply. And in a sense, that has really helped me throughout this path, because it has helped me realize that really everything is rooted in love, because it is teaching us something along this path. And it makes fears a little less scary. And the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because with coronavirus and the political state that we're in, the news outlets are just feeding off of our fears right now. And I think that anxiety and depression are at an all-time high throughout the world. And so I felt like it was important for me to share what I have learned about fears along the way. I have suffered from OCD and anxiety from literally the time I was 9 years old. I have been suffering with OCD. So it has been something that I have been very curious about all my life. And it's really rooted in fear, which is why I have gone so deep into, I guess, the teachings around fear. And it has helped empower me. And I think that on the other side of fear is empowerment. So yeah, I hope that what I've shared today has helped any of you. And one last thing, I just want to talk about the importance of clean energy. And I honestly think that my journey started when I was 11 or 12 years old, watching documentaries about Greenpeace and what they were doing. And it really opened my eyes up to what was going on in the world and how the human race is treating the planet. And at that point in time, I knew that I wanted to do something. I knew that I wanted to somehow make a change and be a part of the change and have a platform to make a change in this world. So really ever since then, I have been doing whatever I can possibly do to build my platform as an actress and a performer, so that I can have a platform where I can speak on and I'm heard by thousands of people across the world, so that I'm able to raise awareness about issues like this. So I am a very strong believer in clean energy and the importance of sustainability, and recycling and just conscious living in general. So we are nearing the end of today. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of you who have stuck with me through this. It's definitely a lot different not being able to perform in front of a live audience and answer questions, etc. But I hope that anything that I said today helped even one of you. Before I leave, I just wanted to teach you the Inuvialuit way to say goodbye. We don't actually say goodbye because we believe that we will see you later, whether it's in this life or in the next life. So we say Ilanilu, which means see you later. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a true honor to be here speaking with you all today. And I just hope that everybody is staying happy and healthy in these crazy times. Much love, and Ilanilu.
All right, so that was a beautiful story of self-discovery from Marika Sila. Thank her for sharing that story and sharing that information with us. But we're kind of running short on time, so if you guys want to sign out of this meeting, go back to the portal and then jump into the Indigenous Youth Clean Energy Literacy Career Training Program. We have a special announcement that we want to share with all of you, so if you can jump into that right now, that would be awesome. See you guys there.